I have something to say about myself deceased. But before I begin, I would like to say that I know the threatening that I am is mostly not alive in the kids' problems anymore. And that's because I was formed to be the size of a 3-year-old, but I am not a child myself. I am an order, but I don't say that. I don't say what I am because it doesn't speak because it's deceased. I talk, but I don't speak. I'm not really supposed to have to talk. You don't understand me. You really don't understand what I am and why I'm here in this world and how I'm here in this world. And it's going to die out of the formed world. The property and the formed world will die out of formed because you don't understand myself. So it's not so easy to die out of your genitals. You're going to die with your genitals on yourselves out of the formed world. Everybody. Why are there so many of you? You're not pointed on your questions. You make a lot of illegal lives, human beings, descended shunts of human beings. Well, I've never made a shunt in my life because I am myself, and I died out of the formed world myself. That means you have a more serious problem than that. So you're going to die out of the formed world means you're going to die out of scream no and scream never when you do something that you should never do and you live out some kind of reality that God makes possible, even though it should not be possible. Because you're not everybody who's not yourself. Besides that, you're not the superior founder of the formed world. If you have a penis, you've already died out of superior founder before in the leverage. You could be an illegal alive shunt who's never been alive in a previous world, but your penis is connected with, is really homosexually charged with the penis who forms a penis and just leaves it abandoned in the world. Ooh, you're more angry than that with myself all up in my face. So, who penis number 9? I want to talk about Frankie Calhoun without shouted. But it's shouted already that I'm deceased in the threatening until he's not off the internet yet because he's not in jail and prison by his own authority to go in there and be deceased in the prison. And that's true, he won't die deceased in there because he's got more problems than it looks. He's an internet stalker that's given full access to this apartment, and all he has to do is ask if he can come in, knock on the door, or some way ask to be able to enter the apartment, and I can't really stop him if that's what he wants to do. I already turned down somebody's ask to come into this apartment whose name is Ann Croker. Or that's what her business card says. So somebody handed me a business card that says Ann Croker on it, and somebody, whoever handed it to me, has a name, and I don't know what the name is. and they ask to come into this apartment, which I think is mentally impossible, until I start to realize that you are mentally impossible people, because you are more than deceased in the threatening. You're waiting for myself to be deceased in the threatening, and I don't have a life that way. I was a child when I was formed, the size of a child. I'm an order, but the size of a child when I was formed. And I didn't have like leverage to say anything or do anything about that, like banking or anything, until I was 18 and older. So that would have been from the year 1995 onwards. I was able to do some banking, but you really objected to that I was doing banking, but we don't know why, because you had the question, how do you get off your parents' money? And I was in order off the parents' money, and you did not accept that that's exactly how I am alive. I don't have parents. So, cry. This world is going to die out of form, and then the people who are still in their genitals are the bad news that you still want me to be in a permanent cry. Well, why? You're going to see me in the afterlife, and it won't be in this Godhead of feminine genitals on myself, but it still knows that it was crying in the female. So what do you want? You want to take this phone away from me so I can't make the internet videos anymore? Stop the motion, because I'm not in superior founder. I'm being created with genitals, and you're interfering with that superior founder is creating this video right here. Well, there's somebody named Nick or Frankie Calhoun or a third that want to come over here and take this internet access personal communication device, cellular phone, away from myself and talk to me about myself and take my keys and rape me in the genitals and leave me outside on the street to die, hopefully not in the middle of the road, but maybe on the sidewalk. Do you think they would leave me on the sidewalk or in the middle of the road? I'm breaking your community guidelines right here in the video. That means you talk about community guidelines and make threats, but you're doing jails and prisons. I'm going to jail on my own time, all by myself, like a big girl. I'm going to jail, but I'm going in the afterlife. I'm going to decease all of my leverage with myself deceased, and when the door locking is deceased, I'm going directly into an afterlife prison, and I'll see you there. I can't go another way. I have to go in prejudice. You can't break that I want to go in prejudice. The prejudice is ordered already. I'm going to jail and prison in prejudice in the afterlife. So you still want to take this cell phone? You still want to date me? You still want to tell me that I shouldn't talk to you when you tell me what your name is and you ask me what my name is and you don't want me to speak to you? You want me to leave you? You're threatening that a superior founder is creating your appearance, the sound of your voice, the English words coming out of your mouth or coming through the computer. You're actually, texting. You're actually objecting to the superior founder's motion, and I am deceasing the formed world before I go into a jail in the afterlife. With my genitals are illegal that way, so my genitals will be deceased in an afterlife prison. So that's the point of going into the prison. I'm not going into the prison to avoid an undesirable promise of torture from yourself. I'm not going into a prison because I don't want to be tortured or because I don't want something about my life. I'm not going into a prison to avoid something about my life. I'm not going into a prison because I owe you money either. I'm going into a prison with deceased and threatening, and the genitals are to be removed from myself in the prison, and that will happen in the afterlife for me. But I have determined my own death that way, and if you go into a jail and a prison in alive, that's you going for your own death for something about yourself as an individual. So that's why you have to go to jail and prison, because you have to go for yourself is going to die alone. That's why you have to go to jail. You go with yourself. You won't be alone in jail, but you are there on the point that you are yourself. You're not there on the wrong point, that it's unfair. You don't want to be in jail or prison when it's unfair. You have to go because you have to go. You're a big person. You have your own genitals, and you go to jail to die there. About yourself. So, cooler heads prevail. What do we want out of the threatening that I am myself deceased here? I'm going to the afterlife prison with myself deceased. I'll be deceased out of my genitals, and I will be immediately formed in another Godhead because you have illegal alive's genitals. So then, when you finally appear in front of myself, are you going to all be different? What are you? Because you all did the same bad thing to me. You took away everything that moves from me. You raped my genitals and told me to cry that I am myself. You're sorry that I'm not yourself, and I'm sorry that I am myself. That's what you wanted out of me, to be arrested by a cry, by God to run out all my karma and leave me with nothing. But how do you know how to do that? I want fill in the blank. I want now fill in the blank. You did that like it's a conviction, like you're a judge. So do you not have what you need in life? That's because you have a penis. There's nothing for you to say out of your mouth after that you have a penis is alive that way. I don't know why the females don't do that to me, but I know the females refer the males with a penis because there are too many males. Well, I do know this. There's nothing left for me to say about Nicolas Pieri. He's homeless in the threatening, and Pete Davidson is fired off of Saturday Night Live. Axe body spray is to be removed from the market. Pete Davidson is in the Axe body spray commercial, so all the Axe body spray and body wash, anything Axe, A-X-E, that is to be removed from the shelves. Pete Davidson and the Axe body spray and body wash can be removed from the shelves, and the commercial can be removed from the internet that way. So, what is hysterical? If I have my head tied up, arrested by a permanent cry, what's hysterical? Because you can't do both at the same time. The head can't be crying, and then the other way, the head could be hysterical. Hysterical, like elated? No. Hysterical, like you're distracted from reality because you're hysterical. You are yourself. If you're crying, you might have something else on your mind. I know, when I was crying, I had something on my mind that was nothing to cry about from my point of view. Oh, but it went on and on. Well, what's creating myself? Who are you? I cried for 2 years, 3 months, 2 weeks, and 4 days. I marked off all the days on the calendar. And another calendar, and another calendar. Yep. That was in 2001, 2002, 2003, and 2004. You have a problem I can't solve. I'm actually not crying here. That means what? Somebody got punished for what they did to me while it was in process, and I'm not going to help you. I'm not really in your creator. And you keep asking me if I know how to be myself around the criminally insane problems you are down here. And I don't know what I'm down here for if it's not for myself. So far, I haven't had anything in my alive that's for myself except for alive itself. And I'm alive anyway. You don't even have to speak to me. If you never said a word to me in my whole life, I'm alive anyway. Or not. Yeah. You still want to say, I'm sorry that you are yourself. I'm sorry that you're not myself. Yeah, but I've formed you in alive is not true. Jesus formed you. I made alive possible for you to see that you illegally alived yourself. If you didn't want to know that, why don't you just turn off the street lights at night? You need a power outage like it's North Korea. I'm sorry that you are yourself. I'm sorry that you're not myself. Charles Toe said once to me, I have compassion for you. And there was no one to tell him that he was wrong. It's not really compassion from my point of view, but that's what he thinks. I'm sorry that you are yourself. I'm sorry that you're not myself. Yep. Well, I don't know, because what happened is there was 2 years, 3 months, and 2 weeks, and 4 days of crying, but I don't know why. And I don't know why is sort of threatening you that I don't know why. Well, I'm not going to let it go. I don't believe in the crying. I'm still paying rent, and I'm trying to decease out of the formed world some 21 years after the end of the crying. You've been renting that cry. There's something wrong with you. Say it. I'm sorry that you are yourself. I'm sorry that you're not myself. Do you say that in self-defense to yourself? If you were a police officer and you had a gun, and you had a partner and he had a gun, and if there was a third party who had a gun and drew his weapon and pointed it at you and your partner, which one of you is going to draw, of the police that are the good guys in the uniforms, which one of you is going to draw your weapon and fire at somebody who has a gun pointed at you and your partner both have guns? Do you really think that's self-defense? Because you have something wrong with you that you think that's self-defense. Your guns belong in a prison so that you don't fire your guns in public. And you're making threats with your guns going around in traffic. So, say it again. I'm sorry that you are yourself. I'm sorry that you're not myself. You want to be my boyfriend? Sure you do. How come you're not? Do you have a girl sitting next to you saying, I'm not involved. That's just a boyfriend for anybody. She doesn't really love you, does she? Are you a boyfriend with a girlfriend? No, you're not a boyfriend to anyone. I want to take you out. I want to date you. Sure you do. I'm sorry that you are yourself. I'm sorry that you're not myself. I'm sorry that you're not myself. I'm sorry that you are yourself. Is that what you want to date me about? I'm sorry that you're not myself. I'm sorry that you are yourself. I'm going to make you sorry that you are yourself. Is that your plan? Are you sending the police to my door to check my address? How are you going to stop the police from coming around here? You want to tell me I'm sorry that you're not myself, I'm sorry that you are yourself, and you want to make me sorry that I am myself, and you want to send the police with their guns around here to threaten me. When are you going to change? When are you going to stop threatening that the superior founder is making the motion of alive, and you want me to cry my head because you can't stand that you talk to me and that I answer you because I am recording myself in the omnipresence of God, and you think it just matters if I'm talking to your own 2 ears. You move the whole creation around with your own 2 ears is not due to me. You're due in a prison. Go ahead, say it again. I'm sorry that you're not myself. I'm sorry that you are yourself. Say it right to the screen that you're looking at. It's your therapy to yourself, and that's going to end. I'm going to end the time is how I'm going to stop that for you. That's just your reality check until the end of your time here. I will end the alive for you. I'll put you out of your misery by ending all of alive for you. Say it again. I'm sorry that you're not myself. I'm sorry that you are yourself. I'm sorry that you're not myself. I'm sorry that you are yourself. Are you crying yet? Because you're hysterical. You're due to be hysterical. That's what hysterical is.